All right, class, today we're going to talk about 10-4, perimeter and area in the coordinate plane. And these problems are pretty lengthy in solving, so what I'm probably going to do is work one and then have you work one on your own to save time, and we'll go over it in class. Okay, so for the first one here, it says draw and classify the polygon with these vertices. Find the perimeter and area of the polygon. Okay, so let's first draw it. So here's our quadrilateral. And we need to find the perimeter and area of the polygon, but first we need to classify. Okay, so let's classify first. Okay, well when I look at this quadrilateral, to me it looks like a parallelogram. In order for it to be a parallelogram, the opposite sides need to be parallel, okay? So let's look at slope and see if the opposite sides are parallel. So if we do slope of EH, okay, so we have -3 minus -1 over -4 minus -1. So that's -2 over -3, which is a positive 2/3. Okay? So on FG, because you have EH and FG. All right, FG we have -4 minus -2, -1 minus a 2. So that's -2 over -3, positive 2/3. Therefore, those two lines are parallel. Now we need to look at EF. EF. So -1/3. So I have EF. Now I need HG. Okay, so what we just did is we just classified this quadrilateral as a parallelogram. Okay? All right, now we need to look at the perimeter. Perimeter is where you add up all the sides, okay? Well, if this is a parallelogram, we know that by the definition of a parallelogram that EH equals FG. So we can use distance formula to find one of these. So let's find EH. All right, EH. So I'm going to take -4 and minus -1 and square that, plus -3 minus -1 and square that. So right here I have -3 squared, which is 9, -2 squared, which is 4. So I have the square root of 13. So this is EH and FG. Now I have to find EF and HG. So let's find EF. EF. Okay, so I have 9 plus, so what is that? 1 squared. So I have the square root of 10. So EF is the same as HG. All right, so for perimeters where you add up all the sides, or you can double the 2 pair of parallel sides. So I have 2 times the square root of 13 plus 2 times the square root of 10. This represents a number. This is as precise as we can get. So let's leave it like that. And sorry about the music. My phone's going off, so we're going to keep going. So guys, unless it tells you to round to a nearest unit, you want to keep it as precise as possible. You cannot add these two because they're not like terms. So that is the perimeter. All right, and we're still not finished. Now we got to find the area. Area is your base times your height. Okay, so I don't have my base and my height, so what I can do here is I can divide this into 2 triangles. Okay, so I have this triangle here, and my height is 3 units perpendicular to my base, which is 3. So what I can do is I can have the area of one triangle plus the area of the second triangle. Formula for a triangle is half of your base times your height. So for the first triangle, it would be 3 times 3. And then on this red one here, same thing. Right here is my height, which is 3. 1, 2, 3, perpendicular to my base. So again, it's half of 3 times 3. So when I multiply all this together, my area equals 9 square units. Okay, you're going to do the second one here on your own. You do it the same way we did the first one. I do believe, though, on some of your segments, you might have a horizontal or vertical line, so your slope is pretty easy to figure out, and then the distance would probably be pretty easy to figure out. We will discuss this in class. So let's go on to the third one. Okay, so we're going to find the area of the polygon with these vertices. All right, so first we're going to graph it. So what we did here is we graphed this quadrilateral right here. And then we made the red quadrilateral around it, which is a rectangle, so that we can find the area of that triangle. This is called finding the area in the coordinate plane by subtracting, okay? So first, let's find the area of the larger triangle, or the larger rectangle. Okay, so that's base times height. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be 8 times 6, which is going to give us 48 square units. Okay, so there's the larger triangle. Second step is we're going to find the area of each one of these triangles, triangle A, B, C, and D, and subtract out. Okay, so remember, area of a triangle is half of your base times your height, so let's look at triangle A. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Triangle B, we have triangle C, and then triangle D here. want to add all these up. And when we take 9 plus 3 plus 9 plus 3, we get 24 square units. And then our last step, we'll take the area of the rectangle, subtract out the area of those 4 triangles, and we get the area of the quadrilateral inside that rectangle, which should be 24 square units. Okay, this one is just exactly like number 3 that I just did, so you're going to do this one on your own to save on time. We'll go over it in class, your answers. And let's look at the last one here. Okay, so what we have here is we have a figure on the left, and we have a figure on the right. And we want to see if their area is the same when you move around the little pieces, okay? So, on the top part of this coordinate plane, we have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, so we're going to look at this right here, quadrant 2. We have a triangle, and we have a rectangle, okay? So the area of that triangle is going to be 1/2, 1 times 5, which is going to give us 2.5. And then for the rectangle, we have 5 times 2, which is going to give us 10. Okay, and then in quadrant 3 here, the lower part, we have a triangle with and then for the rectangle, we have 3 times 4. Okay, so then we want to add all these up, 2.5, 10, 2, and 12, and we get 26.5 square units. So this is the area of the diagram on the left side. So now let's look at the right side, see if we come up with 26.5, even though we've moved some of these polygons around. Okay, so for the smaller green triangle, we have 1/2, 4 times 1, which is 6. For the rectangle, we have 5 times 2, which is 10. And then down here in quadrant 4, we have the triangle, which is 1/2, 5 times 2, which is 2.5, which is not 2.5, that should be 5. And then for the rectangle, we have 3 times 4, which is 12. Okay, so we need to add these. And I've done something wrong. Let's go back to this triangle right here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. This should be 1, not 2. So 1/2 of 5, 2.5, there's 2.5. There's my error. Okay, when we add these up, guys, we get 26.5 square units. So if you start with the same number of polygons with the same area and you move them around, you're going to end up with the same area. And I'm not going to have you do that one, so that's it. Y'all have a good one.